Don't need to know.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, that's all set up. I'll let you out of there now.
Nice one. Morning, everybody. Thanks for taking the time to join us. I'm just going to give people another minute or two there to join before I get started. Okay. Okay, good morning, everybody. Thank you for taking the time to join. In respect of everybody's time, I'm just going to go ahead and get started now. As I say, thank you for joining. My own name is Niall Fahy, and I'm working in the TEL team. So I'm just going to go through a Canvas refresher here this morning with you, and I'll just highlight some, I suppose, kind of useful bits and pieces that might be helpful for you getting started with Canvas again after the summer being off, or if you're just a brand new user to Canvas. We'll cover that kind of general detail. So just giving information about a background, I suppose, on Canvas. It's obviously it's MTU's virtual learning environment. So all staff and students have access to this, and you're enrolled on your relevant modules. That information is pulled directly from Web for Faculty or Web for Student. So that information is imported into Canvas, and people get assigned to their correct modules and so forth. So if you're not seeing a particular module, for example, in your dashboard, it's always worthwhile checking Web for Faculty first that you're registered for that module. Because if you're registered there, it'll be imported into Canvas. Generally, that kind of takes about 24 hours from once it appears in your Web for Faculty. You can use Canvas to share resources, receive assessments, communicate with students, obviously to access live lecturing through Zoom and scheduling those live lectures through Zoom if you are doing some online live lecturing. So as I mentioned there, we have the online lecturing, so that's through Zoom. Anti-plagiarism, we have a new tool this year, this academic year, called Original. Okay, so that replaced Turnitin, and again, that does kind of a scanning of assessments or submissions for any kind of plagiarism that may be occurring in those. There's automated assessments, quizzes, learning analytics, and digital attendance through Quickly. We also have a mobile app for Android and iOS for both staff and students, so they can access it on the go, really, from their mobile devices. So just in terms of the whole ecosystem of what the TEL team, I suppose, kind of look after, really, Canvas is at the core of that, so that everything kind of feeds into that in terms of assessment, content, live classes, and so forth. It all kind of, Canvas is at the center of it, and everything else kind of, I suppose, emanates out from that. But that's the whole purpose, I suppose, of a virtual learning environment, is that it's the kind of, I suppose, the meeting place for everything to occur around it. So just in terms of getting started in it, what I want to try and have a look at, we'll cover here now, as I'm going to go through and walk through that, is just accessing Canvas, accessing modules, looking at your dashboard interface, how to find modules, how to make sure that your account is set up correctly, structuring maybe your courses, and then publishing your modules. And then we'll have a look quickly at just creating assessments, and then how to access support functionality. Okay. As I go through, obviously, as well, feel free, if you have any questions, pop them in the Q&A, if you're on the Zoom session, and obviously into the question section on YouTube as well. And I'll get to those. I'll answer them as I go if they're relevant to what we're covering, or I might put them towards the end and come back and cover them. Okay. So just in terms of accessing, so you can access Canvas, obviously you can access it from within WorkVivo, but you can also access it from our website, tel.cit.ie. So just up the top up here, you can click log into Canvas. That will take you, if you're not already logged in, or if you haven't been logged in this browser instance into Canvas, it'll take you to the CIT SSO login page. Here, you're going to use your @CIT email address and password to log into Canvas. So Canvas and Zoom haven't yet ported over to the new MTU email addresses. Like a lot of the components at the moment, those MTU email addresses are only being used to log into your emails, really. So for the time being, you're going to continue to use your @CIT email address and password to log into Canvas through the university's SSO integration. That then will bring you to your dashboard. So in your dashboard, okay, here you'll see initially all your published modules, and if you've unpublished modules, they'll appear lower down on the screen. You'll then get, things like your to-do list here for your various modules. So if there's maybe upcoming assignments, maybe discussions or anything like that, they'll all come up here. Coming up will show you any kind of aspects in your calendar. So for example, live lectures that may be coming up there, or maybe that you might have to do. So that will be showing you there. And then if there's any kind of feedback or stuff like that, that you supplied or gave. One of the other things, just quickly before we go into the modules and the setup, I suppose, is how do you decide what modules appear on your dashboard here? You can choose that. It will provision them alphabetically if you don't make any adjustments. But if you are, it's fine if you only have maybe, let's say, 2 or 3 modules that you're involved with. But if you do have multiple modules, it is worthwhile coming to modules here and then all modules. And this will give you a list of all the modules that you are a teacher on, okay, and whether they're published or not. And then if you want to make sure that they are on your dashboard, you just click the star icon here, okay, and that will say, okay, well, this is one that I want as a favorite, and I wanted to have it on my dashboard, no matter what the alphabetical running order is of things. I want to make sure that that particular module is on my dashboard. So you just come in there to modules, all modules. It'll give you the list here of what's published, all the ones that you're a teacher of, And then as well, lower down will show you past enrollment. So from the last academic year or the last semester, if there was courses that you were set up as a teacher on, you can access them still in read-only mode to get access to maybe content and stuff like that maybe you did previously. Okay. Off your dashboard then, if you're coming back to your dashboard, one other thing is that I suppose now that we're still, Canvas is still using your CIT email address. If you do need to respond to notifications that are coming into your Outlook inbox, to do that, just make sure that you go into your settings, okay? And over here, add your MTU email address. And that just means that if you get an email into your notification in, let's say, on an assignment or a discussion or a question from a student, you can respond to that directly from your Outlook email address as long as you have your MTU email address added here. Just note that the CIT one should always be the default email address, okay? Don't change that for the time being, because if you do, it can cause issues with some of the modules in terms of Zoom and stuff like that. Okay, so just going back to your dashboard. So clicking on any of your items here, I suppose, will bring you into the dashboard. You'll notice there's little notifications under some modules, if there's assignments, there's discussions going on, if you have announcements, okay, they pop up there. So just in terms of a particular module, opening up a particular module, you'll see here a typical kind of a structure, I suppose, would be kind of maybe doing it week by week. So you'd have your lecture notes, maybe if there's an assignment or a quiz to be done, and then maybe a link to external content. You'd encapsulate that all into, say, week 1, and then week 2. Alternatively, you can do it like by topic. So you could do something like topic 1 and topic 2, and then so forth. But typically, what most lecturers will do is they'll do the kind of week 1, week 2, week 3, because it just keeps it organized and students are easily able to access and identify information. Okay, so you can do that off the homepage, and very straightforward, just clicking add unit. Okay, and you can just give the unit a name. Additionally, you can, if you wish, you can obviously lock out or maybe restrict access to content. So if you edit here, you can add prerequisites. So you can say, prerequisite at week 1, and the requirement is that they must complete maybe if there's an assignment or a quiz they must do, you can set that as that they must complete that before they can access the content from week 2. Okay, so that's just if you maybe gave maybe an exercise or something like that after the week 1. So then additionally, you have announcements. Okay, so your announcements by default, the most recent announcements will post to the top of the module here, and that just gives the students access to maybe information that you deem that they need to know immediately. Additionally, they can access announcements from here. Okay, so you can see announcements here. Clicking into the announcement will give the further detail on it. And if you need to create an announcement, it's just up the top there. Give the announcement a title, body. If you have your course split into sections, you can specify who it's going to be posted to. And as well as that, if you want to delay posting, let's say, for example, you want to do all your admin work maybe of a Friday afternoon or something like that, and you want to have stuff set up for the following week's lectures, you could actually delay the posting. So you could say maybe you're making an announcement about the lecture, that you have a guest speaker coming in the following week, that you delay the posting until maybe the Tuesday and the lectures maybe next Thursday. But that way then, things are not getting clogged up and on the module too soon. Okay. So in terms of default, kind of a lot of the kind of default homepage might be the module syllabus. And here, this is a useful one because it gives the calendar for the course, but it also gives you the aspects of what's coming up and when it's coming up next. So it's a useful one to go into to check. You can see, okay, what's in the calendar coming up, if I have assignments, when are they due, and things like that. So it just gives a kind of a chronological ordered list of the kind of aspects that are coming due within the module over the next few weeks. So it's a useful one from that perspective, I suppose, because you can see, okay, what kind of lectures do I have coming up? When do I have assignments due for students? When do I have quizzes and things like that? Okay, so it's a useful one to use as well, the module syllabus. aspect. If you want to change your homepage, you can do that. You can choose homepage from here, and you can choose that, or you can choose a unit to be the homepage and things like that. So you can do that from the right-hand side. I'm covering stuff here, obviously, because I want to just show you a number of things at probably quite a bit of pace. But don't worry, we do have for the detail of those, if anything going to pique your interest as I'm going through it, for the details, we do have a Canvas Learn Staff module that actually goes through all these things in detail. Okay, so you'll be able to see, you'll be able to go through those. If anything is, you want to brush up on, or you think, oh, that's useful, I might want to do that, then in the Canvas Learn module for staff, you can actually get through some of the detailed steps to do that. Okay. Okay, so in terms then of communication, we were just talking about announcements there a while ago. Additionally, you have your inbox here as well. Okay, so your inbox covers all your modules. Okay, you can select a specific module, or you can favorite. If you have favorite modules, you can choose those. And this is where any communications from students may come in if they've emailed you directly. You will get notifications potentially to your actual Outlook, but those will also come in here. If you click in here, okay, you can see you have the option to compose a new message, a reply. You can archive the email message, you can delete it, and then from additional here, you can forward it, or you can mark it if you think it's a very important email that you need to come back to. But you can, respond here directly to students. They'll get a notification, and it'll come up in the inbox within Canvas. So it's a useful one from a communication perspective if you need to use it. So as I say, additionally, then you have announcements that can be used to push out information to users. Discussions as well can be used to an extent from a communication perspective, but it's more around maybe kind of trying to encourage collaboration inside the module. Maybe you've had a guest speaker in, or maybe you've had a particular topic that you've covered, and you want students to have the discussion around it because you've done, they didn't get the opportunity maybe in the class or anything like that. Discussions are a useful way of doing that. You can create a discussion, give it a title, give it a body, and then you can encourage students to respond back to that. Maybe you want to make it a graded discussion, or maybe you just want to have it as a discussion whereby people will interact with it. And if they do interact with it, that, maybe they get, some extra credit or something like that for the module for interacting with the discussions and keeping that going. Okay. So just in terms of publishing, okay, so this one, we would from time to time typically get a lot of tickets in from staff or even students saying they can't see certain things that a lecturer has told them is available for them. It's just worth being aware of, like, I suppose there's kind of 3 publishing levels in Canvas. So you have, obviously, your module needs to be published. Okay, so you will have a publish button on your module here. If, like my module here, you don't see that one, that is because submissions have been made to an assignment on the module. So once submissions have been made to the module, you no longer unpublish the whole module. Okay, so once submissions are made to an assignment or a quiz or anything like that, you can no longer unpublish the full module. Okay, so don't worry if you're not seeing that on your own modules, but you would typically see this until there's a submissions made. So publishing at that level makes the whole module open, and now makes it available in students' dashboards so they can see the module. Even if they are registered on it and it's not published, they won't see it at that time on their dashboard. Once it is published, then they'll obviously see it then on their dashboard. The second and third layers then are within the content. So if you create a unit, okay, and you add content within that unit, okay, so you'd have to publish. You can see here that you have a publish and unpublish option here on the unit, and also on the actual content itself. Clicking on a unit, if all content in the unit is unpublished and you click on to publish the unit, it will publish all the content within the unit. Okay, so just be aware of that. Equally, making sure that if you are publishing individual pages and things like that, that you also publish the unit. Because if you don't publish the unit, the students themselves actually won't see the content on their, so when you go into, for example, in this module here for a student, they'll see this content, okay? If we go in here, we can see that there's a lot more content there, okay? So they're not seeing this stuff here. They're not seeing this page under topic 2, they're only seeing one page. So just being aware of that if you do publish content, that you're making sure that it's published both on the page, but also if it's part of a unit, the unit is published also, because the student won't see it if the unit's not published. Okay, so even those 3 pages are published there, if I unpublish that, week 1 doesn't show. All the pages are published, but I don't see them as a student because the actual unit itself that they're sitting inside is not published. Okay, so once that's published, that again becomes available and is viewable by students. It's just a small thing just to be aware of, because it can happen, particularly if you're publishing and adding and creating a lot of content within the course. It's just worth keeping an eye on. You can add files to the course directly in the Files tab here, and host stuff. You can create folders if you want and have it all in here and organize it here, which can be useful. Maybe you create a week 1 folder and you have all your content in that, so that when you then go to create your pages or your assignments or your discussions, that you can link to directly just to content that's uploaded. But if you don't want to maybe specifically upload content all in one go, you can do that as you go as well as you create pages. So if you go to create a page, you can actually add content from there. You can insert images, medias, documents. So you can, as you see there, upload in all of those sections. For media, you can upload and you can record directly as well within the page or the assignment, etc. Okay, so that's just publishing and stuff. So yeah, so just I quickly just touch on assessments and assignments. I know that probably some of you may already start be planning out those, and you may want to start creating those. So just in terms of creating assignments, come to your assignments tab here. You can add a group if it's for specific, maybe you want assignment groups for each week or maybe each topic. You can add those groups, and then you can add assignments within those groups, like as you see here. Okay, if you go to add a new assignment, okay, from the top here you give your assignment a name. So we just call it Canvas Refresher. Okay, trying to follow an example for now. You can give the body of it here. Again, in here, like when you're going through your description, you could, if you needed to, let's say, for example, you have created maybe an assignment outline or a brief or something like that, you can actually insert that. You can link to that if it's within the course. If it's a course link, you click on the course link, you can actually choose what you want to insert there. So let's say it's an assignment, or maybe it's an announcement that you did, or maybe a specific page that you want to insert there. You can do that directly from the actual description area here of the assignment. So that can be useful. By default, we'd recommend leaving this at 100. You can choose your assignment group here if you've created previously, or you can create a group. So we'll go this one here. We're just going to call this one again Canvas Refresher. Okay, so submission type then here. Okay, so online will give you all your additional options here. So text entry is so that somebody can actually submit text directly into Canvas. They can submit a website URL, media recordings, or if you want students to be able to, student annotation means that you would upload a file and the student then would make annotate that file. So maybe you could use something like that for, let's say, for example, you were trying to you were saying this, maybe let's say something like quality assurance. This is a document that has been submitted to you. You've been asked to QA it. Point out in the document where the issues that you see and make comment. So you could do something like that by you would upload the document, and by allowing student annotation, you see there, you choose the file that you're going to use for that. The student can make the annotations then when they access the assignment. File uploads. If you're going to use plagiarism review, you need to choose that option, file uploads. You see it'll appear there. So once you actually tick file uploads, you get plagiarism review here. And from here, you would just select original. Okay. We have some specific original training sessions, so I'm not going to delve too much into that for the plagiarism review. But you can find those on the YouTube channel, and there's a lot of documentation as well on our support site, which I'll just show you there in a moment. Main thing here, I suppose, when you're creating assignments is that, you know, you're making sure you assign it to the correct people. If you have sections set up, you know, that you assign it to those. If you want to assign it to specific people, you can, or students that are assigned to the module, you can do that also. Just remove everyone and put in the specifics. Just note that if you do change this from everyone, and when you do save, it will just pop up and say, like, look, all these other people are on the module. Are you sure you don't want to assign to them? So it gives you that warning, just in case you accidentally make a change here. You choose your due date, and then you're going to choose your available from date. Okay, so this one is key because this allows you to actually publish the assignments straight away. So if you want to go ahead now and create your assignments for the end of this semester, you could actually create them all now, but then only make them available from a specific time. So let's say, for example, you only want these available from the 10th of October. You'd input your date there, available from the 10th of October. From the, so we'll actually just do that there now. I'll just choose the 20th because it's an easy date. And then it's due, let's say, 30th of November. Okay, and save and publish. So this is what you see from on your actual quiz. It'll give your description and stuff like that. And, you know, it is published. But the beauty here is that because we've given it a certain date, it's not available yet. So even though on the student view here, the student will see it. If they click into it, it tells them this is not available until the 20th of October. So that's useful so that you can actually start creating your assignments now, but that they wouldn't be released to students, or the students wouldn't be able to access them until the time that you want them to. But also then that means that you don't have to be coming back in to publish stuff at a later date. You could just do it all in a block period of time, I suppose. Okay, so those are assignments. Just briefly, I suppose I'll just in terms of support then, I suppose Canvas Tier 1 support is available directly from the help button down here. Okay, you can submit a ticket, or you can actually chat live to them. You can also access telephone support from them here. Live chat is monitored and is available 24/7. You know, they will generally, Canvas support will generally look after any kind of generalized queries that you would have about Canvas. You know, if you're having issues with maybe creating assignments or, you know, creating content, anything like that, kind of generalized Canvas style issues, it's worth reaching out to them as your first port of call. If you then have something that's more specific that's related to MTU, maybe like that, a module is not showing on your dashboard, as I say, first step there normally would be contact web for faculty, but if you've contacted them and it's still not showing, then it would be something specific to our instance of Canvas. Then you can reach out to us at edtech at mtu.ie, and you know, we'll take tickets from there. Alternatively, you can just come to our website as well, at tel.cit.ie, and the little question mark is on the pages throughout the website, and you can actually submit a ticket there directly to our ticketing system as well. Okay, so just to be aware of that. Okay, and then just jumping back here. Okay, so on to all that, and just in terms of supports, then as I say, you know, 24 telephone support, 24/7 telephone support from Canvas, and there's email support as well as support@instructure.com. But really, I suppose the easiest way to contact all of them, the Canvas type supports, is submitting a ticket here, live chat, and then to say the phone number is here also, if you do have any queries. From ourselves, as I say, our telcit.ie website has a lot of additional resources around remote teaching, remote learning. Okay, previous trainings as well, or upcoming trainings can be accessed from our training section here, and then our support portal here. You have access here to our actual help desk. So this will accessing the staff help articles here will open up your page here. And here we have all of our MTU specific, I suppose, help articles on issues that we've encountered or just useful information on how to do aspects as well. Our top articles of the month are the ones that are most frequently accessed by staff during the past 30 days. So we update that every 30 days so that you can see the kind of things. And that's basically driven as well by some of the queries that we're getting into support as well. And then you have further down, then it breaks it down into different topics. Okay, and there's everything there from Zoom to get started with Zoom to, Canvas assessments, how to do check-ins with learners, and then, managing content and stuff like that. So there's quite a lot, and there's as well some great articles there on H5P if you haven't used that before. So that's just creating some interactive content for your Canvas module. It's a really useful one. It has a lot of good detail there on how to actually build up and create some of this interactive content. Okay, so that's, as I said, that is going to be accessed directly from telhelp.eu.helpdocs.com, or probably the easiest one to remember is just tel.cit.ie and come to our support section, and you can access it here from the site. Support for staff then as well, on that page, we will update that as well with current hot topics around things that may be relevant for that time of the year, some additional information, and some basic troubleshooting steps as well for some common issues that we would have, and we would keep them here. So that's just a useful one as well to come to as a kind of a first port of call if you're encountering some issues. And there will be more updates coming to the support site as we bring in more functionality to make things easier for you, the lecturers. So just one thing that I want to just cover, covering all the main stuff that I wanted to cover now, but just one thing I want to just cover on Zoom really. So clicking the Zoom tab here will, bring up your Zoom integration. So all your upcoming meetings, previous meetings, and cloud recordings are seen here. Students will see these in meetings as well. You can schedule your meetings from here and so forth. We obviously always, your first priority all the time, if you're scheduling a Zoom session for a module, is that you would schedule it in here. Okay, so you create your schedule in here, because that allows it then for students to access it from directly within the module as well. If you create meetings outside of here, maybe you create them on your online, so if you create them on your online Zoom account, okay. If your profile here, if you schedule a meeting from here, if you schedule a meeting from here, even if you give it a title for the specific module that you're on, it will not appear in here unless you choose to actually add the meeting. And you can do that straightforward enough. So if let's say we'll just schedule a meeting here. Okay, my meeting, save that. And we'll see in my meetings then here that I have an upcoming meeting. When I go into my Zoom tab here, I obviously have nothing. But if I've scheduled a meeting here on my online profile or directly from my Zoom application, then if I take this meeting ID here, just copy that, come over in here into the module, import meeting, and import that, it'll add that to my module. So now students can see that from their module when they log in, and they can see it from here. Also for me, when I come into here, I can actually see that. As you can see there, while it can be done that way, it obviously adds more steps for you. So as I say, the easiest way always is just to create into your module and schedule a meeting from there. But I just said it's a useful one to know about as well, that if you did by mistake create the meeting elsewhere, that you can import it into the module if you need to. Okay. So that's all the content that I wanted to share. So I'm going to leave it open for any questions that may be there for people. While we're waiting there for if there are any questions, just say thank you very much for taking the time to attend. Once this recording has been completed, we'll edit it slightly, and it will be available then on our YouTube channel along with all of our online training. And I would recommend as well checking out that Canvas Learn for Staff module. There is one as well for students. so that they can check that out as well. If you want to direct them towards that, they will be enrolled in that and it will show on their dashboard.